Welcome back, everybody. Today is the first day of actual planting stuff. That's right, we're planting. And actually, we're going to be starting today, and I'm going to be planting through tomorrow too, and I'm going to bring you along with me. So in front of you right here is something called, hopefully I say this correctly, ranunculus, I think is how you say it. But you can see right here, it is, I have planted, or I'm going to plant this variety, which is a double red. I've got a yellow and a double pink that we're going to be planting together. This is just one example of the red that we're going to be planting. I have soaked these. I did my research, and a lot of places I've heard online are saying that you need to soak these like 24 hours. Honestly, the consensus that I came to after all of my research is that you don't want to soak these more than 4 hours because you do run the risk of rotting them. So I have soaked these right at 3 hours right now, and I'm going to drain them very soon here, and we're going to plant them in some lovely pots on the back deck. I also have some, these were bought. Let me bring you around just a little bit here. These are some gorgeous specimens from our local nursery, daffodils and pink tulips. Those are just going to stay in the pots. You cannot transplant them right now. That would not be a good idea, but I'm going to leave them in the pots until the end of the gardening season, and may or may not plant them out. I may just winterize them. We do have some daffodils on the very back of our property. I don't think you can see through my dirty back door here, but out there where you see the birdhouse, there's a string of green plants. Those are daffodils as well. Matter of fact, they just bloomed, and they should be blooming again a couple more times through the season, and that'll be it. Then they're yellow daffodils too, so they have a new friend right here of the same variety. And then the tulips are kind of the odd man out. I did not buy these. A family member was set on getting them. They're beautiful, so we're gonna put them to good use. But this season they're gonna stay on the back deck here, and then we're going to be planting out all of our big pots. You can see one right over here. If I can, there we go. That guy, I've got I think 5 or 6 of those. So we're going to be planting out the ranunculus out on the back deck, and then we're going to be moving out front to the garage where I'm going to be planting up into my big 5-gallon utility buckets. So several of the larger plants that have gotten away from me. Even though I'm going to be putting a lot in the ground tomorrow, I've got a few that are going to stay in the pots and not go in the ground. So those would be the ones that we plant together this evening. So I will see you shortly. Okay, before we get too crazy, we do need to do some cleanup. As you can see, all the dead stuff over here. So all I'm going to do is get my gloves on, and I've already pulled it, but I'm going to get the ground loosened up. This is still very good soil. I have, I believe it's a 911 or 912 combo. It's a kind of just a all across the board fertilizer, transplanting, used for cuttings. It's from M.I. Gardner, and it's quite good. I've already used it on my seed starts, and it is phenomenal what it does. So I'm going to go ahead and get in here and clean up some of the stuff. Like I said, I've already cleaned up quite a bit here. Hang on. Okay. Just had to check my bearings here. So all I'm going to do is just pull out some of this dead stuff here. Now, this guy right here, I don't think you can see it. Hang on here. This guy right here is yarrow that came up. That's the volunteer one that I spoke to you all about in the past. And it became so prolific that the original plant, the jalapeno that I had growing in there, I just left it. It just took over. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull out any weeds that I've got growing here. And break up any big clods, although this is pretty loose. It's not compacted at all, which is lovely. Now, I'm not planting anything in here with the yarrow because it'll get pretty big as time goes on. Not even a lot of weeds in here. Looks pretty good, actually. This one right here at the very back, let me see if I can bring you guys over. Okay, let's see if I can get you guys situated here. Hopefully that works. This one right here is alyssum, and it's completely dead. I'm just pulling it completely out. Now, it'll probably come back if I just leave it be. Actually, it's already trying to come back, but I'm actually going to sneak in some ranunculus and see what happens, just because I can. So, I'm going to break this up just a little bit. I'm going to try not to disturb what's already here. I'm going to put, the ranunculus I got are pretty small. They're actually pretty small. So, I'm actually going to put 8 per pot. And old plant tag. I read that ranunculus, they're called corms with an M, that your flowers will only be as big as your corms. I've never grown this before, so we'll see. But if that's correct, then I should have no problem putting in 8 per pot. And I'm not filling all of these pots with the ranunculus. I'm actually doing, let's see, I'm doing 3. 1, 2, and I'm going to skip that one, and there's one behind me. And I'm going to alternate either with other flowers or with some salad mixes, so it's closer to the kitchen for dinner time. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and get the ranunculus drained and get to planting. Ooh, tamp down lightly here. And I'm just going to make some holes. 2, let's go 3, 4, kind of like a clock. Yeah, that's about right. Let's see if I did it right here. Yeah, let's see if I can be gentle with these babies. They're awfully strange, aren't they? Look at that. That's something. They're so cute. I can't decide if they're cute or scary. Here, let's see if I can. Okay. And just cover it up. Next little guy. And try to keep them all even if I can. I'm trying to do this without damaging. I think I got that one okay. A pretty simple process. They don't look to be all that difficult. Everything I read is pretty straightforward. And how I do my research is when I'm gardening, my general rule of thumb is 3 for 3. If I can find 3 separate websites or publications or people who are authorities in the garden, that kind of thing, if I can find 3 that match up entirely, I'm going to say that that's probably good for information. Now, although with gardening, though, I do tend to go 4 for 4. So if I find 4 sources that all say the same thing, I'm going to call that pretty reliable. I got 2 left, and I'm going to go dead center with these guys. Okay, there's that guy. Got him down. And one more little fellow right here. And we're going to cover that up. All right, so everybody's covered nicely. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use that fertilizer that I told you about. That's basically, it's a fertilizer, a plant food, helps with transplanting. It's a little bit of everything, and I've already used it, and as I said, it is fantastic stuff. And you can find it in my gardener. I'll get you the name here in just a moment. But I'm going to water this in and be right back with you. I'll get that bottle for you. So I'm back, and this is what I spoke of. It is Revive RX. You can get it at migardener.com. And I was right, it was 911, and those are just the ratios of nutrients, I believe, in it. This stuff is fantastic. It is, yeah, it's 32 ounces, but you only use between 1 and 4 tablespoons per gallon of water. So this will last you quite a ways. I'm probably going to have to get a second bottle when I go to do the in-ground garden. I'm probably not going to have enough. But if you're just doing smaller areas, should work just fine for you. Now I've transferred the water into here. That's got already the Revive RX in it. And I'm just going to gently water it in. That way we don't disturb anybody's sleepy time here. Now where I'm at now, we have experienced our last frost. Matter of fact, we just had it, and we are good to go for planting. And that's about good there. And I'm just going to move on with these next guys, and I will see you shortly. Okay, so here we are, and we've got quite a few very tall plants. I'm not going to get a ton planted of these guys tonight. As you can tell, I'm losing light pretty quickly here. So I'm just going to do the best I can, and again, a lot of these are going directly in the ground tomorrow. So I'm going to start transferring soil into good old Tractor Supply buckets and start moving forward. And they have been drilled out. This is more than ample. These holes are a good 1/2 inch, so there'll be plenty of drainage. And the soil that I use, I have used all the years that I've been gardening, and it drains beautifully. So I'm going to get started on that, and I will be right back. Okay, let's see if we can get some more dirt in here. Now, you may be asking why I'm doing it so strangely, filling a small bowl to fill the bucket. That's because these bags are quite heavy at about 50 pounds. The soil is wet, which makes it quite heavy. And I can't lift them. So we work with what we have. Let's see if I can get it broken up a little bit. So it's a little slower going, but it works. Now, let's see if we can kind of walk that over. Give this a good tamp down. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit more, and then this pot will be ready to go, and hopefully I can move it. We're hoping. Okay. Yep, we're good. Okay. We got one ready to go. I will say that I'm actually getting more bang for my buck out of these bags than I originally intended. Originally, my thought process was 2 buckets per bag. And it's 2 square cubic feet per bag. But it looks like I'm actually going to get 3 buckets per bag, which is absolutely fantastic because that means I will have quite a bit of leftover soil. All right, I'm going to keep going with this, and then we'll get to planting a few of these lovely plants. Okay, so what we're going to do is these are pretty leggy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bury them up to their little necks a little bit better. And then we're going to get them in those 3 pots, and then I'm going to have to quit for the night because I have no more light to really work with effectively. So I'll be right back. Well, the darkness won over, so we had to quit. But we did get the yellow squash planted and watered in with the fertilizer / healthy nutrient treatment from MI Gardener. And I have brought everybody in for the night. We still have our plants over here and back there. I brought everything in for the night because it's still a little chilly at night and they don't need that added stress. So we're going to pick this up again tomorrow, and we're going to be in the garden tomorrow officially. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Everybody, I want to thank you for joining me. It is so much fun to start the garden season off. I mean, I think I said something like that when I started the seedlings, but we're actually getting back into the dirt. We're getting back into the garden, and it's really exciting. It's just awesome, and I wanted to thank you for coming along with me. So everybody take care. I love you, and I'll see you next time.